We're live. So, first question I have for you, what is your name?
I'm Napoleon.
That's all we have time for. Hello, and welcome to our interview. No, hold on. Hi.
Hello.
Where do we go from here? Napoleon.
Hi, Alex. How
How
are
are
you?
you doing? I'm. You want to go first, or?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'm doing fine. It's weird to be at home all the time because I'm never at home while I'm at OSHA. So, how are you?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I've been trying to fill up my time, so I go on walks with masks, of course. Um, I've been baking a lot. I made this other thing the other day. This thing. It's on the screen right now. It's good. That's all I'm going to say. Um,
Had any of your fancy lemonade that's totally not Sprite?
but I've been trying to fill up my day with things to do, and I've been practicing writing music, all that stuff. Now, we are graduating in 2-ish months.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So, I gotta ask, what are your plans for college?
Okay, so currently I'm not going into like any acting program or anything. I'm going to the University of Redlands for their sort of interdisciplinary program. So I don't have any like course requirements, so I can study basically whatever I want. And I'm going to use that to hopefully find out like what in the humanities really interests me. Like I really like history and philosophy and linguistics and stuff. So I'm just going to study whatever I want and hopefully have time left over to do art as well.
Yeah, that sounds fantastic. Have you chosen a main focus?
Um, not really. Like I don't want to do math ever again. So I'm gonna do mostly like humanities and stuff, but also I want to use it as an opportunity to do a lot of visual art and like costuming, which is the thing I'm really interested in. So I can do both the academic stuff, but also stay involved in the theater in some way. Hopefully that doesn't conflict too much.
Yeah. So, about the costuming. Now, I know that you have quite a passion for costume design and makeup and all that. I'd like to know how you got into that, how that became a thing for you.
Um, so I started doing costumes when I was really little because my family didn't buy Halloween costumes, so I had to make all of my own.
I
But
did the same
they weren't
thing.
very
It was a
good.
family event that we made my Halloween costume.
Oh, no one in my family made them. I had to find things in my closet. I was a Pokemon trainer one year and I didn't have any Pokemon, so that was really cool and fun. And everyone got what I was supposed to be. No, but I've been making like terrible costumes for many years, but I started sewing like 2 years ago. I got a really cheap sewing machine on Amazon that did one stitch for like $20, and I made my first like major costume with that, which is my Lord of the Rings costume, which I wore to a marathon event. And then since then, I got my main sewing machine, and I've been making more costumes because I just find it fun and relaxing. And it's one of those things where if you're stuck on one particular part of a problem, you can work on another aspect of it. So like if the sleeves aren't working out, you can just work on the hem. So you have to keep working, but you're not doing the same thing the entire time. So
Oh, that sounds really fun. Are there any of them that you'd like to show us?
which is this headpiece. It's a hat. But right now I'm mostly making like Star Wars costumes because I'm tired. I'm making the Rebel flight suit from A New Hope, and I'm making Padme's parade gown from Episode 1. So that's cool, I guess.
I'd like to see those when they're done.
Yeah. So costume design is something I really enjoyed doing because it was another way to be involved in acting where I didn't have to directly be auditioning for things. And I understand that you also are a big music person, and you are a
Yeah.
musician completely outside of acting. So what are you doing in terms of that?
Well, musically, I've had some slightly large news. I recently released an album entirely of stuff that I wrote,
Alex,
and Yeah,
Alex.
Alex Plays Alex by Alexander Niles, starring Alex, playing songs written by Alex. Yes. And what's even more fantastic is that I got a bunch of people, all these great musicians, to play on it and play on my songs. And I think that's just the best thing ever, that other people enjoy your music and like it enough to contribute their time to it.
So are you going to go to college for acting or music, or
Well,
what's your plan?
what's happening is I was originally going to go to Cal Arts for acting and music, but I I've thought about it a lot, and I found out that it really wasn't for me. They wouldn't let me do acting until year 3, which, I mean, I totally understand their program, but I didn't want to give up acting. And
Yeah.
I also knew that I'm going to Amden now. I it, it's way closer, it's way cheaper, and it's a great school. I know that by doing acting, I don't have to give up time that I spend on music because I balance the two pretty evenly
That's
as it
good.
is now, and I can focus on both fully. But yeah, that's me.
Yeah, you're from the years I've known you since 8th grade. Wow. I've always known you're like a really passionate person, and you really know what you want to pursue, and then you do it. In terms of that, if you ever had like unlimited amounts of resources to do whatever you want involving acting or music or anything, what would you do in that case?
Well,
Given that we're all going to be unemployed
yeah,
artists for the
uh,
next couple years of our lives.
yeah. If I think the first thing I'd like to clarify is the unlimited resource that I'd want, apart from, of course, money, is time.
Hmm.
That I would like. And what I do with that time, I would like to be fully involved in the creation of a film. I'd like to be able to write, direct, and act, and write the score and do all these things, which I know is physically impossible, and I would probably collapse from overexhaustion 5 minutes in. But, I'd like to do it, and I'd like to be able to be involved in a project where I'm really involved and I have creative freedom and I can do something that I really enjoy.
Yeah.
Um, so on the subject of acting, you act, right?
Unfortunately, yes.
I was wondering if you could talk to me a bit about how you began acting and how you got into it and how it became a thing that you did, and perhaps some struggles that you've had with it, how you overcame them, and also, most importantly, what made you continue doing it as an art form.
Okay, so my first experiences with theater were from my grandparents. I went to go see, I think it was like a Midsummer Night's Dream. It was like my first real show because my grandparents really like Shakespeare. So I saw Midsummer Night's Dream at the Shannon Center in Whittier, and I was like 6 years old, and I'm like, this is what I want to do. Um, so I did a lot of plays in school because I could memorize lines. So early on, it was just something I did for fun, and like I loved Shakespeare, so I go to like summer camps and stuff where I just really focused on learning Shakespeare and learning about the characters. And then I auditioned for Ocsa because I was like, I don't know what I want to do in high school. Maybe I should do acting. And I got in, which I'm still
Did
very
you?
surprised about. At that point, acting kind of shifted from something I do for fun to like more of an art form that you take seriously and a way to explore different aspects of the human condition and stuff, and all of those elements that made acting and media really interesting to me. I got to be a part of it and be involved with making it. So even when it was really difficult, because with acting it's quite hard to see improvement because you can't really quantify what's good acting, what's bad acting, or like how to improve.
Yeah.
It's difficult to see that from your perspective as an actor. So when I found that very difficult, I would kind of shift my attention into other artistic elements. So that's how I really got into like costume design and stuff, is still ways that you can be involved with theater and with film, because that's my favorite thing in the world. But you don't always have to be on stage crying the whole time. So you can still influence just as much, but you don't have to be directly involved. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
acting has been really challenging for me, as I'm sure it is for a lot of people. Like when it's an art that you put yourself as the subject, you know, you're the person who is acting and it's you, and while you're playing a character, it's your take on the character. So when you receive criticism or when you don't do as well as you think you did, it can feel very much like a personal failure. um and yeah, the way to overcome that is really just to focus your attention into things that you can like foresee improvement in, and it doesn't have to be like things that are like a major part of who you are. Like it doesn't have to be a major part of acting, but just focus on things that you don't think you're that good at and that are fun for you, because I think a lot of people start acting because they find it fun. I
Yeah.
certainly did. So
Yeah, I did as well.
mhm. Well, like for me, when I was really struggling like junior year with trying to find things about acting that I still found really fun, I auditioned for the Murder Mysteries improv show, because improv is like something I was never good at. So it was completely outside of my comfort zone and something I could like foresee that I could see like improvement in as I got better. And it was fun. And acting is supposed to be fun.
And
And you're
might I
supposed to
say that
enjoy
show is
yourself.
fantastic.
So how did you start acting?
Um, I I actually went to a Saturday class, probably like most people in England. There was this place called the Arts Educational School of London, and I have a T-shirt that's many sizes too small for me that says that. And I started doing it every Saturday, and I found out, hey, this isn't boring. So I kept doing it, and I moved here, and being where I am in the uh, Los Angeles, I was introduced to the prospect of being able to do this as a profession.
Mhm.
And I just started auditioning for things. And I realized how much I enjoyed it and how much I enjoyed the process of getting a script and working on it and becoming this other person. And even if it's just for a commercial, even the technical things, the purely technical things are fun too. And I realized how much I enjoyed all of it. And at some point, I said, you know, this is something I could do for the rest of my life and not get bored. This is something that I could enjoy while making a living. And I know the making a living part is completely optional, but
Yeah.
I feel like this is something that I would commit my time to
Mhm.
in order to be as good as I can be at it. Yeah. Um, and I think it's the same for music too. Well, not that I went to a Saturday class. My dad's a musician. He's a professional musician, arranger. He's worked with people like Paul McCartney, Ray Charles, Rick Astley, and he just started showing me music things. And he gave me a guitar, but my hands are too small for the guitar. So he then gave me a piano, and then he said, "Play it," and then I played it, and then I discovered that music is the other thing that I could do for the rest of my life and not get bored, because I think the same with music and acting, there are so many creative possibilities with
Yeah.
it. And there are so many ways you can apply that tool to say whatever you want to say.
Yeah. So your outlook on art is much more mature than
You
like
froze.
I think it's safe to say that your perspective on acting now is very different from when you started. And that's true
Yes,
of everyone.
one
But
could say that.
yeah. So I met you in 8th grade in
I
Miss
met you in eighth
Lena's
grade. What a
acting
coincidence.
tech class. I remember the first day that we were there and how we had to do like names and assign things and then talk about acting and stuff. So if you were able to go back then and tell your 8th grade self, Alexander Niles, any advice going forward, what would you say?
Well, I think I would say, I think I would say one word, and that is relax. I, I I remember, and you can confirm this. So I saw acting as a very technical thing back in 8th grade. I worked out every beat. I tried to get it all perfectly, and it was very um, intense of a thing to go take a script and turn it into a piece of work.
Mhm.
Um, I think the best thing for me to have realized would be to just relax and try to act more natural. Because one of my problems going forward was that everything was up here and everything was cerebral, as some say, and I wasn't fully allowing emotions to affect me. And I wasn't fully allowing myself to be in the shoes of a character because I was thinking of so many things on where I should be, my blocking, whatever. I think the best thing for me to have done would be to not obsess over it and make it such an intense thing, and to just let myself feel emotions and be a character.
Yeah, I think one of the unfortunate, I don't know if it's unfortunate, but one of the side effects of studying acting as an art form, especially when you're younger, is you want to seem like you're on top of it and that you can control this
Yeah,
art and make it very technical and very specific and direct, which is not really something you can do with acting. Acting is an art and not a science. So, if you're trying to control it, it's a
it's
Olympic
difficult.
battle. Yeah.
It's very difficult, and
Mhm.
thankfully I've worked past that little stage in my life where I couldn't be natural, and here I am. I got accepted to a college or seven, which is nice.
Oh,
So I think we are out of time,
we
and
sure
thus, yeah, and thus I must leave you to live your life.
whatever of that remains given the circumstances of this
Well,
coin.
I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you for coming on to Actors and Actors Senior Moments, and to you, the audience. I'd like to announce that I am the video editor. I am the invisible artist behind all the interviews that you know and love.
It's symbolic.
So, what?
It's symbolic.
Yeah.
Acting is not just about the one actor, it's about the entire team of
Yeah, it's
people.
about the entire team of people, me included, especially. So, as I edit this interview and as I send it to Miss Dorian to be posted online, I'd like to thank you all so much for watching and for not throwing rotten fruit at me. And yeah, so
Hoping to
thank
see
you
you
all, OSHA Acting Conservatory.
at the end.
The end, and good night.